What is up, nerd and nerdettes of the interwebs? It's Mr. Brady Jones, and by my side, as always, Senor Adam.
Hola.
We are Speaking of Nerds, and we are back today to bring you a spoiler-heavy review, discussion, whatever you want to call it, of the new Shazam movie. Is there another Shazam movie out there?
I think there was an old TV show.
Right. So the only Shazam movie, not the only Captain Marvel movie, though. But let's just jump into it now.
If you didn't watch our spoiler-free review that we posted a little while ago, then we'll just remind you that we are not professional critics now, much to our disappointment, but we just had early access through a local Fandango Cinemark showing, so we still got to see it early, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen Shazam yet, you should go watch that video.
Mm-hmm. And then go watch the movie, and then come back and watch this video.
I mean, I don't care what order you do that in, as long as you watch both videos.
Yeah. Preferably as many times as possible, so that we can get the views rolling here.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. And as we said last video, I gave it a 7.6 out of 10, and Brady gave it an 8. That's based on our recently established that we're going to stick with now. We're not going to forget it, that we're basing it on 7 being the average. So that's what it was for.
All right. Okay, so let's start by talking about the plot itself. Mm-hmm. So the movie opens up with Thad, the bad guy, in his car in the back seat when he's a child. His dad and brother are bullying him, and so he ends up meeting the old black wizard Shazam, who is now in 2 Captain Marvel movies. So good for that guy.
Because apparently being bullied is a reason to be pure of heart.
Yeah.
I didn't understand
that doesn't.
Which there may be some background that that we don't know, that maybe he's a character who is. Did you think he was Indian the first time you saw him?
No, I knew. Well, I knew the actor was. I knew who the actor was going to be.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
From the very beginning, I knew as soon as that trailer had come up, somebody was like, "Oh, that's the guy who was in Guardians of the Galaxy."
No, I mean Thaddeus. As a
kid. Thaddeus.
Thaddeus as a kid, he looked Indian.
I thought he was Asian.
I thought he was anything but white.
Let's go Indonesian. I feel like that's a mix of Asian.
Okay. He was at least brown.
Yeah. I feel like that was poor casting on grown-up Thad.
It really was.
Or actually they probably had grown-up Thad casting.
I think
first.
they did good casting for the older brother.
Yeah, they did good casting for everybody really, except the young Thad.
Young Thad, yeah.
Yeah, that was the only. Well, and the mom.
Yes, that was really bad de-aging. We'll go in that in a second.
I don't think it was de-aging. I think they just left it.
Exactly. So they're supposed to de-age her to the point that she looks 17, and she didn't at all.
I get your joke now.
Yeah.
It wasn't funny.
Yeah, it wasn't really a joke. It was just pointing out the fact that they did so badly they didn't do it at all.
Alright. So yeah, Thad gets taken to old man Shazam's lair, grabs an orb or something that he wasn't supposed to touch, and is like, "No, you are not pure of heart, so you're banished." And he leaves and grows up and becomes a heartbroken adult.
Puts his dad in a wheelchair because he goes all crazy.
Yeah, that's right. There was a wreck.
Yeah.
I thought the dad was dead.
I thought he was too.
I mean, he was sitting there on the thing. His
eyes
weren't moving.
I knew he wasn't dead in that scene, but I figured he died later.
Well, his eyes weren't his eyes were open and they weren't moving.
Well, he was breathing though.
Was he breathing?
Yeah,
okay.
I noticed that.
Because whenever you see a dude laying on concrete, eyes open, not blinking, and then blood coming from his heddle area, I just presume dead. Heddle. What else what better term is there?
Head area? The head area?
Hedicle? Can I throw a C in there and make it sound better? Hedicle. The head area. Fine. Temple area. We'll go with that. So I just presumed he was dead, but apparently he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So we pick up with Billy Batson. Do we see him get lost first?
No. He's
trying to rob a place, right?
Yeah.
Not really. He's not robbing a place, but he's getting caught.
He has this intricate plan to. It's the whole point of his whole motivation is he's looking for his biological mom, and he's looking for every Batson who's a woman between the ages of 20 something and 40 something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then so he well, no need to talk about the details of the scene, but he goes on one of his plans. He gets caught. He finds
a black woman.
He's
a
like,
big black woman.
He said, I think you're my mom, and then she opens the door like, you think so? Because he's white and
he's a white boy and she's a black lady.
Very white.
It's funny.
Pasty boy. He gets caught. He runs from the foster homes a lot because he's trying to find his mom. Then he gets stuck with Jerry and his wife and their foster family.
You're just gonna call him Jerry?
Yeah.
Don't know the character's name.
No.
So we'll just call him Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
What is with the DCEU and making Walking Dead actors parents to superheroes? Because Lauren Cohen and Jeffrey D. Williams
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
That's what I said.
You said Jeffrey D. Williams.
Did I say Williams?
Yeah.
What?
I think you were thinking Billy D. Williams. Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, I don't know why I said... what? I don't even...
You said Williams.
Doesn't even make sense. Alright, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohen played Martha Wayne and... oh, crap. What's his name? Don't tell me. Don't tell me I know this. I know this.
Do you?
Martha. Well, I'm always going to know Martha because... Martha! Oh, God. Thomas.
Yes.
Thomas Wayne. Okay. I had to think of the Thomas Wayne Foundation. Somehow that's what... Okay. Thomas and Martha Wayne in the Batman vs. Superman.
Batman's parents.
Yeah.
If you didn't know.
I didn't for a second. Okay. So, yeah. Billy is now in a new foster home. He meets all the foster kids. Meets Freddy, who's disabled and funny. And I like that. Yeah, so Billy... So Freddy...
We need to go into the whole plot.
I'll just run the details.
Okay.
Freddy gets bullied at school. Billy beats up the bullies without any powers. Runs away from them. Huh?
A lot of alliteration.
Billy beats up the bullies?
Billy Batson beats up the bullies.
I didn't throw in Batson.
Billy Batson beats up the bullies with a broken boy's... Because he uses the crutch.
He's a broken boy. Anyway, he eats up the bullies and then runs to the subway. Gets in a subway where the bullies don't get him. The bullies' names both... like have a B alliteration too. It's like B something B, like BB or is the initials. I looked it up on IMDb. There's a lot of B's in this conversation.
There better be.
I hate you. We can't be friends. Okay, or maybe that's why we're best friends. Yeah. Anyway, they run into the subway. The subway closes, and then Old Man Shazam presents himself. And since then, Thad has found a way back into the Old Man Shazam's lair. And has taken the 7 deadly sins away from him, which is weird. It's weird when I say it like that, but I guess that's how it happened.
Yeah.
And then...
they were captured, or held at bay or whatever, and then he unlocks them.
And then Billy Batson comes in there. Old Man Shazam gives him all of his powers, and so now he is Zachary Levi. And then... yeah, he gets the powers, and then movie goes on. He fights Thad. Thad wins. And then... Thad keeps winning. Billy and Freddy have friendship problems. Because Freddy's jealous, kind of, but it's like Billy's also kind of a douche.
Yeah.
At times, when he's got his powers. That's supposed to say finds, not fights, Mom.
Oh.
It says Billy fights Mom. It's supposed to say find.
Yeah.
Okay. Billy finds his mom, who is a complete and utter word I don't want to say on this channel. She doesn't care about her son. She basically, when Billy got lost as a child, she saw him and she could have been like, oh, that's my son, but she was like, you know what, I'm just gonna throw him into the foster care system and I'm just gonna back away.
She was 17. She was 17 at the time.
Did not look it.
And not at all. Not at all. No.
Yeah. She was 17.
Yeah, but I was gonna go back to something. Okay, plot-wise, the foster siblings figure out on their own that he is Shazam.
Shazam!
Did you think that Mary looked like Enid for a little bit?
Not really. Are we just all focusing on Walking Dead? Because I thought the mom looked like Jadis.
She looked like... I didn't see that at all.
Oh, I saw that.
I did not see that.
I thought the mom looked like Jadis. So
her face was too big. No, it wasn't. She didn't have like a big face, but like it was.
Jadis has a big face.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, she does.
She does not.
She does.
She does not have a big face.
She has a big old face.
Mm-mm.
Like, what are we talking big?
Wide.
Oh no, not wide.
Yeah, the mom had a wide face.
It's big like this way big.
Yeah.
It's not big like this way.
And that is the complete opposite for the mom.
Yeah.
She had a pretty short face, wide.
I thought it could have been.
No,
I was
not
thinking
at all.
there were some shots where it looked like it.
No.
Fine. Well, you know what? Mary didn't look anything like Enid,
Okay.
so screw you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm glad we got this figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, where are we? Billy finds his mom. All
Yeah.
the foster children find out that he's Shazam.
Yep. They get kidnapped by the bad guy in the Seven Deadly Sins. They have. This is a Christmas movie, by the way. In the middle of, actually, the beginning of spring.
Is it a Christmas?
It's a Christmas movie.
Okay.
Because there's snow.
We're not gonna have this argument.
There's snow and. I mean, like, it's a Christmas movie as much as Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
So it's not a Christmas movie at all.
Die Hard's a Christmas movie. But
oh my god!
This is
a
movie that takes place in Christmas. Okay.
It takes more than just being at Christmas.
It is as much a Christmas movie as Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3's not a Christmas movie.
I know.
Die Hard's not a Christmas movie.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
And it takes place during Christmas. Does that satisfy you?
Yes, thank you. I'm very particular about my Christmas movies.
Okay. Well, Santa's a key character in the end. So I'd say that qualifies it a little more to be a Christmas movie.
How are we defining key character now?
He has an appearance and lines.
I don't think that's the real Santa Claus.
You don't know that.
You're right, I don't. Fine. Let's just sell it. Shazam's a Christmas movie.
Okay. Yeah, so then there's a carnival, they have the big showdown, and all of his siblings become other Shazam people.
They're all Shazams.
That was cool. That actually was kind of cool when he did that.
They've all Shazammed. I think that's pretty much the...
That's basically the plot.
Yeah, they kill Thad? Is Thad dead? Thad's alive.
No, he's in the post-credit scene. He's in the prison.
Yeah.
He's talking to the worm with the little chest thing on there.
Yeah, I was hoping for a Dwayne Johnson.
Speaking of post-credit scenes, trailers often ruin things. And I just saw a trailer recently for Shazam that had the last post-credit scene in the trailer. Like that whole scene.
The whole scene was
in there? With
the
fish.
The whole scene
The whole scene was in the trailer.
That's dumb.
That's really dumb.
Maybe they'll throw in another post-credit scene.
They won't.
They do sometimes. Like critics have said, like they've changed post-credit scenes, or they've just not had them at their showing. So they might. But I was hoping for a Dwayne Johnson Black Adam cameo.
Yeah. Well, now they have room for a sequel.
Yeah. But didn't get that. That's pretty much the plot. Mm-hmm. So let's just move on to the characters themselves and what we liked. Hold on, let me get my phone. So characters, obviously, we're gonna start off with the big one of Billy Batson.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Batson, nice kid, actor. I don't know the actor's name, but he was fine. Mm-hmm. He was good. He was enjoyable.
He did a good job.
Zachary Levi stole the show and is awesome and is my new man crush. Sorry, Neil Patrick Harris, you've been replaced. So yeah, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Anything stick out to you about the Billy Batson? I feel like the best parts of the movie was when Zachary Levi was in there.
Yeah.
That was like the best part of the entire movie. Zachary Levi made this movie. This was the role that Zachary Levi was born to play, because I'm a huge fan of Chuck, which was like the show that really gave him his first big break. And so I've been following his career since then, and like he would have like these he had this convention, Nerd HQ. It's not really, I guess it's kind of a convention. He'd have that at the same time as Comic-Con, and they would bring on like a lot of the panelists and they would talk, and it was just, you could see that this dude had a love for like nerd culture and superheroes and all that stuff. So when I found out that he had gotten cast, I was so excited for him, because I know this was something that he would love to do, and like he was built for this role, because he is like the most man-child actor I know. And so I am so happy for Zachary Levi, and so happy that he was great in the movie.
Yeah.
And so,
as side note, if you ever read any of those articles that talk about like behind the scenes stuff for like the Marvel superheroes and stuff, they almost every time mention that in their contract there's like some sort of deal they have to do where like you can never work with the other franchise. That is complete bullcrap. Like, I don't know why they keep posting that, because like if you
I've never seen that before in my life.
Especially if you watch like the shows and stuff, there's so many trading between actors, and obviously with the guy who played Old Man Shazam, he's crossover, and Zachary Levi was in Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
And like there's just been so many actors who have switched over, and they keep saying like, oh, you can't if you do movies with Marvel, then you can't do anything with DC, and then like it's like an unspoken rule or something. Whether it's unspoken or a contract, rule. It's just.
If anything, that might be like for Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr.
That could be.
Plus, I mean, if you're Chris Evans and you're like not gonna do any more Avengers movies, I don't see you going on and being like Superman or something.
Yeah.
Like if you're done with being a superhero, you're pretty much just gonna be done doing a superhero.
Okay.
So yeah, let's move on. Freddie Freeman, he was the little cripple boy who was funny.
Mm-hmm.
The actor was also in It.
Okay.
I don't remember which character.
I didn't watch it.
Was he the Jewish kid? He wasn't the Jewish kid. I don't remember. Anyway, he was in It. Yeah, he was funny. He was when Zachary Levi wasn't on screen and then he was like the funniest person on screen. Yeah, I really liked him. He was enjoyable. He was funny. He had good comedic timing. And he was basically the character that, like, he's like every nerd as a child, pretty much. Where it's like, if superheroes were real, you'd be, like, trying to collect the Superman bullet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So
it's nice to, like, see like, a little bit of representation, I guess, of nerds in there. And he was fun and enjoyable. Anything notable about any of the other foster kids? Mary was pretty.
She was. And she's our age too.
Yeah.
Not that makes any difference in anything.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Well, I mean, it does, because if she's like 15, then it'd be weird.
That would be weird.
So, let's see. I don't know I guess there's nothing really notable about the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were funny when they were given their lines to be funny. Most of them were like playing off the other people that we've already mentioned.
Yeah.
Either Freddie, Billy, or grown-up Billy.
Mm-hmm.
So, good for them, I guess. Thad, like we said, bland villain.
Yeah.
Gonna forget him. You're gonna remember Zachary Levi, and you're gonna remember Billy Batson, and you're gonna remember Freddie Freeman, and you're gonna remember like the Shazam family. I guess you're not gonna remember Thad. You're not gonna remember like the foster parents. You're gonna remember the Shazam people. You're not even gonna remember all the Shazam people.
Yeah.
So Thad, forgettable character, forgettable villain.
I think he had an interesting motivation, though. I think like this movie does a good job of like because like the villains really are the seven deadly sins, and like they do a good job of like pointing out like the fallibility of humanity. Because like Thad starts out as being an option for being the next Shazam, and then rather than like he's not like a butthurt kid who's like going on this vengeance spree to get back at the old man who didn't give him his fancy powers. He embraces his darkness as a villain, and that because like he has a thing. It's like I realized like I wasn't perfect or I wasn't a good person, and then he becomes the villain. So it was interesting. But yeah, he's a forgettable character.
So anything else you want to add before we wrap things up?
No, I mean, like, I liked how they kind of played into some of the stereotypes of superhero stuff. And, like, when Shazam and the villain are suspended in the air, Matrix style.
Yeah.
And then, like, he's talking to him across, and, like, he can't hear him at all. Like, I've always wondered, like, how do you hear someone that far away?
Yeah.
And like they never, and like the whole scene, he doesn't like zoom over and then tell him his whole bad guy speech. Like the whole scene is just completely humorous because
neither of them can understand what the other one's saying.
Yeah.
Like he's just having a speech and Shazam's like, I can't hear you. And the guy's like, doesn't know that he can't hear him because he's so far away, so he can't hear him say that he can't hear him. So, yeah, that was fun. Anything else? If not, I'm gonna finish things up.
I'm still trying to figure out how Billy could figure out which of the 7 deadly sins were active in the battle. Because personally, I was only able to identify like 2 or 3. Yeah. And one of them because...
And we've also seen...
2 of them because he actually identifies them in the movie.
Yeah.
And like all the rest of them, it was kind of hard to figure out who was who.
I don't know, I guess...
Not that it's a big plot hole or like we needed to know who they all were. It's just... It was an interesting thing.
I guess it just kind of makes sense that Envy would hide behind somebody else.
Yeah.
And Envy would be the little coward, or Envy would be the one that stuck to him, because that was the whole...
I thought they were going to make that connection that was the base, that kind of was the basis of the villain, is that he's envious of not being being worthy of having the power. But so I was kind of hoping they'd make more of a connection with that. But yeah,
they really needed to make that connection.
I think it just would have made it a little more interesting for the character. But
all right, we done now? I know, but like, are you done?
I'm done. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna. I guess we're gonna finish off with like a little thought or note here. I guess. So at the end, before the post-credit scenes, one of the things that rips the friendship apart is Billy is supposed to come in as Shazam to the school and sit down like with Freddy at lunch and make Freddy look like the cool kid. He didn't, and that kind of tears the friendship apart for a portion of the movie. So at the very end, Shazam comes in with Freddy and sits down with him at lunch, and he's like, "Oh, I brought a friend." And then you don't see Henry Cavill's head, but you see like the Superman suit and a dude walking in the suit coming in, and then like standing next to Freddy, and Freddy like freaking out. And so I guess the last little note I want to have is, when we were seeing this movie, next to me was not you.
Yeah.
Well, you were on my other side. But next to me was like a kid who was like 11, 12 years old. And so when Superman come on screen, the kid just like freaked out and was like happy, and it was pure joy, and it makes you just realize like why these movies are made. Like, yeah, we talk about them and we go into detail, and if there are movies that we don't like, we'll like criticize it, but it doesn't matter if it's Shazam, if it's the Avengers, or if it's Captain Marvel. That's not this one. What matters is these movies make kids happy, and they give them joy, and that's I think the important takeaway that we need to have with all of these movies is that they're not really made for adults. We can enjoy them, but it's like a Frozen or a Disney movie, but that's not Frozen. I guess Frozen's the only example I can have off the top of my head. It's fine to critically review them, but you have to understand at the end of the day they are made for kids, and if a kid enjoys it, then who are we to say that it's not good? And
more of them should be made for kids, because again, this is one of the most kid-friendly superhero movies recently. And like, not like the other ones are like extremely inappropriate, but it was made for a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so you gonna close us out now, Adam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, so again, thanks for watching this video. Let us know what you thought of the movie in the comments, and if you haven't seen Shazam, then I don't know why you're listening to this point of the video, but go watch it anyway. And subscribe to our channel, like this video, like our Facebook page, follow Brady on Twitter at Mr. Brady Jones, follow me on Twitter at Lee_Senior, and as always, recommend the show to your family and friends and even your enemies. And until next time,
adios,
amigos.